Hi, I'm Deborah from Debs Divine Desserts, and with me today I have no other than Dr.TREHUNNA. You know him, health and fitness guru, and he is the Instagram extraordinaire behind Reset by Dr. TREHUNNA. Thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Hunna.
And thank you for having me.
Yes. So, happy fall, y'all. And with this happy fall, y'all, we know that we're entering a season where people are starting to retreat, going back into their homes,
Right.
and going back to their comfort food as well. And speaking of comfort food, I do desserts.
She's a baker, y'all didn't know.
and how comforting is a good dessert. But what I want to know is, how do we balance it all? How do we balance football and fun and desserts and fall while going into the holiday season? I feel like that's almost a triple threat. What say you, Dr. Hunter?
Yeah. So one thing a lot of fitness gurus or health coaches say is, look, either you can have this thing or you cannot have it. Simple. There's no such thing as a gray area. What I basically teach is I let you know that everything technically is okay, just in moderation. But a lot of people don't know what moderation is, especially coming from an American lifestyle.
Yeah.
So just as Americans, we are known for overindulging.
Yes.
Right? We don't know when to stop. And a lot of times we just naturally pick up the habits of what? Because we were taught at a very young age by our moms or whoever that raised us to finish your food.
Yeah.
That means when you start something, you gotta finish it to
Yes.
completion,
Yes.
right? And that gets a lot of people in trouble if they're trying to balance their weight or overall just make sure they're keeping weight off. Especially when it comes to a time such as fall, when it's getting a little bit more nippier outside and we are not moving as much.
Yes.
So what you need to learn is, what can you do, what can you eat, right? And why I should have this here versus having something there. But it's all about balance when it's all said and done.
Okay. So I was a person who struggled with my weight all my life.
Me too.
And I was able, as I got older, to understand, thanks to you and Reset, that I can have it all, but not all of the time. So it's a balancing act for me since I do bake, because I'm one of the, these people who, at one time I thought that if someone offered me dessert, I'm like, back, get back.
That's the Antichrist.
Yes, get thee behind me, because I can never have dessert. And it's very difficult some days for me because I bake, and I'll go to this thing of, oh well, let me get a plate and taste it, and my daughter's like, but you already know what it tastes like. So what I'm really saying is, I want to eat something. That's really what I'm saying, is I really want to eat it. So how do we balance that going into the holiday season, knowing that we're not quite as active as we were, maybe in the summer? So Dr. Hunter, we have some of these delectables, and what I noticed is these are some of the same things that one might see at the Thanksgiving dessert, or perhaps a cocktail party, because we are going into holiday season. There's a lot of parties, family functions. So this is what we might see. So we have the cupcakes with the candy corn and popcorn, caramel drizzle, turtle covered cupcakes, and with the chocolate and pecans, apple, things that really make you think about fall. And don't forget cheesecake.
That already sounds good.
cheesecake with turtle cheesecake and s'mores cheesecake and ginger snaps, spice cupcakes, plain cheesecake.
I would love to be at your house.
And with those, and imagine walking up to the table and we're seeing this assortment of desserts, and I probably add a couple of pound cakes in there or something like that. What say you? What would be the best choice, if there is such thing, if we decided we wanted to partake in this time for desserts?
So yeah, first off, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance when it comes to the nutritional field about, hey, either once again I can either have it or I can't.
Right.
Okay, it's clear and cut like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's all said and done, the name of the game is anything in moderation is totally fine. Okay, so kind of like what I alluded to earlier, a lot of Americans, we just overdo it. So a lot of people, just like we was taught, there's commercials out that, oh, you just cannot have one chip, right? That's Pringles. Everybody knows that, right? But why you cannot have one chip? It's because what they're putting in majority of these things, a lot of sugar, right, is going to basically make the dopamine receptors go off in your head, where it's like, oh, I want you to eat more of this thing. But it's a lot of empty calories. You're not receiving a lot of nutrients from this, right? But just keep in mind that you having one cupcake is totally different from you having two cupcakes. And you having one cupcake with the ginger snaps, with a cookie, and some cheesecake, it's totally different from you saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy myself. Let me have one of whatever I desire to have, you know? And a lot of people already think, or there's this fallacy that a lot of people believe that you can outwork a bad diet, right? Yeah. So you basically tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and have 2 to 3 of these cupcakes. Oh man, I messed up. So I'm just go ahead and work it off tomorrow, right? But the human body doesn't work like that, you know? So it's all about what you put in your mouth that's gonna matter when you're trying to see the scale drop. Okay. And you be on a weight loss journey, you know? But you cannot outwork a bad diet. So don't ever say, you know what, I'm gonna have this donut and tomorrow I'm just go ahead and work it off. Just say I'm gonna have this donut and tomorrow I'll make better choices when it comes to food.